For the third series in the Beginner's Guide to RC, we've got the four-wheel drive buggy, the FTX Vantage. Anyway, it was 179 pounds, I think, and it came with everything, including a Lipo. It's a brushless motor, and it comes with a Lipo charger, Lipo sack, everything all inclusive. So I had high hopes for this thing. So we took it out of the track, put it on the floor, and just let it rip, and wow. We had, spoiler alert, you don't have to fast forward to the end, we had a blast with this thing. So awesome, it really was. Just jumping it ridiculously high. But anyway, let's get back to the track part. Going around the track, I never swapped the tires. I just left them on because I was learning the buggy and stuff while we were going, and the tires were they were too grippy. So that's a problem that I could deal with instead of sliding all around. So we just left them on. And but yeah, it was really fun. It was fast too. You'll see that from the running video, but this thing was really fast. Steering wasn't too bad. One thing I liked about this is even though it's ready to run and it's, you know, two-wheel drive counterpart, the Edge was like an all-in-one receiver and ESC. This one's separate. And the servo wasn't as bad. The whole thing's waterproof apparently. But make sure, you know, you always take that with a grain of salt and check into the electronics manufacturer and all that stuff to see what it says. But it says it's waterproof. But the servo was pretty good. It was a little slow compared to what we're used to, but for a beginner, you won't catch that. So you're just gonna enjoy it. You really will. It was really fast, like I said. It was a little noisy. The spur pinion, we made sure the mesh was set right, and it was. It's just a bit noisy. It's 32 pitch pinion, so it's a bit, which means it's a bit more coarse than like your normal like 48 pitch that we use on most of the buggies, or even some people use 64, which is really fine. So, but just really pressed. It jumped like crazy. We had it like so high in the air, and it was really controllable with the four-wheel drive, and just using the brakes and the throttle just to control it in the air. We were doing whips with it. I landed it flat on its top like this, and it flipped over, and I just took off and kept jumping it. The only issues we had was one of my silly wrecks that I was driving like an idiot, popped off the shock from the bottom. We just popped it back on. No more issues with that at all. Spence crashed it going down the straight, because when you go full speed down the straight and slam on the brakes, this thing just flipped over. It just chalked up and bam. So one of those took the little pin or the little whatever it is that holds the swing on and broke it off. So I've already looked into the parts. It's £1.89 to replace it. So less than £2, which is less than $3 basically, to fix that. So that's not going to be an issue. But that was yeah. And if I was racing and I didn't have the part, it'd been easy to just take a little self-tapping screw we put in there to hold the wing on. So it wouldn't have been a huge issue. We would have survived without it, putting it back on there. But I know from past experience that you need a wing. I had a wing come off one of my four-wheel drive races, and what a handful that car turned into. So make sure you got that. The Lipo provided plenty of power. It's only 3250, so I can imagine you put a bigger battery. I had some 5800, so I was going to try in it, but I didn't need to, because it was just we had too much fun. We didn't want to take it off the track. And even Spence, he just loved it. He usually races with sticks, so he was using the pistol or the wheel that came with it. And but he came to grips with it pretty quick, and he was flying. So would I suggest this for a beginner? Yes, but I would look into, like, for a beginner, if you have someone that's never driven before, a young kid or something like that, you might want to see about turning the speed down, because this thing is quick. It's really quick. It's ready to race, I would say. You can take it to a track and compete. In the beginners class and stuff like that, and you could probably do all right in some of the intermediate classes, stuff like that, as your skill improves. There's loads of hop-ups out there available for this thing. Just one thing that everybody jumps on a bandwagon with is aluminum parts. I'm not a big fan of a lot of alley parts because they bend, whereas these will like flex and go back. But if you have like an aluminum arm and it bends, it stays there, and then it's all just messed up. So I don't use a lot of aluminum. There's some stuff that I will use, but anyway. All told, highly suggest this. This was a load of fun for four-wheel drive. So I've done it. I found you a 200-pound or less four-wheel drive buggy to get you into the hobby, and go with the brushless. This was so fun. We had an absolute blast with this thing. Highly suggest it. Really good car. And for all the jumps, we hit 10 feet in the air and stuff like that, landed on flat surfaces, and there's not really any damage to the bottom. Even the motor hangs out a bit, and there's a scrape on it, but it's pretty robust. And you'll see from the video, we had the cartwheels and all kinds of stuff going on, and nothing broke. The shocks are adjustable, so you can adjust the preload. They're plastic body shocks, so that's one thing you may want to look into if you do get it into the racing thing, is getting some aluminum shock bodies. It's already got aluminum caps on the top and bottom, so that's all right. You can buy carbon fiber towers for the front and back. I saw those if you go to FTX Edge, and then just look up some of their parts. You can buy all kinds of carbon fiber for this thing, so you could make this thing pretty sweet. Not that it isn't already. Like I said, wow, really impressed with this thing for the price. 179 pounds with a Lipo, with a battery charger, with a Lipo sack, transmitter, everything ready to rock. We did nothing. We just charged the battery, set it on the track, and I took off. So well done, well done. Highly suggest this. So FTX Vantage, thumbs up from me, thumbs up from Spence. Go get you one, and we'll see you on the track. Later.